your thoughts first on your feelings toward those Blue Devils.
I think we have a pretty strong team. I think if we played how we played against Springfield, we won't do so well. But I think if we played how we played last game, I think we'll win. We just gotta be strong and believe in ourselves. You know, I gotta stay true to the Rams. So McDonald.
Same question to you.
I remember in elementary doing like pep rallies and stuff, and I was like, what's the whole point? We end up losing anyway. But when I got to high school, we actually started like winning. So I think if we won the last few years, I'm pretty sure we'll win this one, and I'm hopeful.
Well, good luck tomorrow night, girls. Go Rams.
The Rams. Yep.
Here with Blake Basista of the Mineral Ridge Rams. Congratulations on being picked last week as one of our players of the game. Offensive line got the other player of the game, so to speak. Your thoughts on last week's game and the play that you had?
You know what, man? I got to give all the props to the offensive guys. We had a new guy coming in named Vinny Giacomo. He came in, it was a great opportunity for him. I mean, he came out, we kept running to his side every single time. And you know what? Every time we ran there, we got our 5-yard gain. I was telling our coaches, you need 5 yards, you just call it at number 22. That's what I was kind of living by that entire game. And, I mean, I give all my props to that line. I mean, without those guys, there's no chance I was getting the end zone those 3 times.
But now that you've had time to kind of marinate, how do you feel about those 3 touchdowns and everything you did last week?
You know, it's great, man. It's great to be in the moment of that, too, like living with looking like teammates on the sidelines during that. I do think, though, that mentality of that next week, going into that next week, we need to keep locking in for those next couple of games. Living in the moment of those 3 touchdowns after every single time, and especially those 2-point conversions, those are big in a good game like that. Coming out, you come off the field, we get those stops, and then you just go back on the other side of the ball and you march down and score. I mean, those are some of the bigger opportunities in the game. Coming out though, whenever you end the game and you live in that moment almost that Friday night and that Saturday morning. But that Sunday where you have that off day of where no practice or anything, you go to the film session later in the afternoon. That's when you start to realize that it's great to have those games, and I think everyone should experience those. But the next week up is what I was trying to focus on, and I hope our offensive line notices that because we had some flaws on that offensive line, even though we did have a great rushing game from Preston Holbrook and me and Chandler Bussey. Even Caden Shaper got in. We still had some things we can fix up, and you know what? That's really what it is. That next week up kind of mentality.
I love that attitude. Real quick, obviously you got to have a short memory in this game, but what did you learn yourself, and how do you feel that your teammates learned from the Springfield?
Oh, dude, from the Springfield game, we came out and we let up that outside run, that jet. Really saw some head drop. So, I mean, we learned against United, we learned against Springfield, and that's one of the biggest things our coach tells us is you got to learn. He told us in the beginning of the year, if you learn from one of those non-conference games in the beginning of the year, which was United, you can learn one more time throughout the entire season. It's got to be but I mean, we learn, and if you come back and you saw what happened after we learned from our experiences, we came out, we were trying to wreck teams, and we're trying to not have our heads down, that kind of mentality ever again.
That's the way to play, brother. Your thoughts on this week are obviously a ton of implications from this game, so important in many different ways. First and foremost, it's your rival. I mean, so looking at that, first part of the question, your thoughts on them as your rival and what you want to do in this game. How do you feel about McDonald?
You know, I mean, I have no problem against any of the players against McDonald. Those are great guys. They're good American citizens. That's what our coach always tells us. But I mean, the idea of having a rivalry game, you can't be sleeping on that kind of game right there. I mean, we have a lot of heart coming out here every single day. We're always thinking about how we got a game plan against this team. They're 9-0. I mean, there's nothing else you can say against this team. It's a great team historically to be 9-0. But to put that tick in their schedule, I mean, that's kind of what we're looking for to do here Friday night.
It's been a good season. Had some ups, definitely big ups. Some unfortunate downs, not many. Your thoughts on the season this far? Let's start with, the downs that you guys have had and what you guys think you've learned from that so far.
Okay, so I mean, we started the season, and you really don't know how the season's going to go, but we thought kids really worked hard all summer long, and we had a good squad. They were a band of brothers, and we learned early on that it took more than that to be able to win games. I think we were as good as United, but we certainly didn't play as hard as United, and we learned that it's not only what you do, but how you do it. And we told our guys from the very beginning, really, it's not about our opponents. It's going to be about us. We told them that from the beginning, and we learned that in week 2. and I think that really helped catapult us over the course of the next couple of weeks. What we learned in that second one was we had an opportunity and we didn't finish. We had the ball early on Springfield's side twice in the first quarter, really dominated the first quarter, and came away with no points. And not being able to deliver when we had the opportunities, we realized that we can't let those go by either. So I think we learned a lot about both, and I think we're in a good position moving forward.
Moving on until all of the good things that have happened have come to the precipice, if you will, of this week. Your thoughts on the good stuff, quote unquote, that's happened, the seniors, the group of guys that you have, and also, this new staff, Coach HAKE, and the trickle-down effect that he's had through the school and the program and everybody, from the cheerleaders to the band. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, with a whole new staff and the kids getting to know the coach getting to know the kids and the rest of the staff, and it has. It's really been a learning experience from the beginning. And I know we start in June, but we learn things about each other all along the way. In the good times, in the bad times, how do you handle those? And we talked about this is really like a 12-round fight, And we had some really good rounds. We delivered some pretty good punches. We got knocked down. We got back up. And I think each time, win or loss, and there was some really good wins that I think helped us with confidence. But sometimes getting you put back in check a little bit so you don't get overconfident is a good thing. So the ups and the downs have really brought us together, I think, as tight as we can be at this point. And I think with that, we're in a great spot moving forward.
I love that attitude, Coach. What kind of Coach, I know the manual. I know who I've met. We love you, my family. I love your attitude. Is that the kind of attitude you've always brought to the football field as a coach? Are you more of a positive guy, or when the guys do something wrong and you need to get in their butts, so to speak? How do you approach that?
You know what? My coaching style is like my teaching style and my principal style. I mean, I love what I do. I love this town. I've been here over 30 years. Very passionate about the place in everything I do. So these kids know I love them, and I would do anything for them. And doing that and saying that allows me, when I need to get in their butt about something, they know it's out of love. So it's just that love for these kids and for this community, and the passion that I have for this community. From when I was teaching to becoming the principal to being a coach, I'm the same all the time. That's just me.
I love it. You're the style of coach that I always needed when I played. I went to Ursuline, had Angle, Trestle at YSU. So I would have loved to play for you and Coach HAKE. You guys are my style. Talking about this week, how important it is. Not only is it the rivalry week with McDonald, you guys need to get them back from last year. They're undefeated. Doesn't really mean anything in a rivalry game. 0-0 as far as I'm concerned. And then the importance of the playoffs. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, listen, you could throw the records out the window when these two teams play. And that's been through the course of this year. You can go back and look when one team has been a lot better than the other. And it doesn't matter. What matters is who really wants it that night. So records you throw out the window. But when you have both teams that have records like that, it certainly puts a little bit more on it. So them being undefeated and us having the opportunity to stop them from having that 10-0 season, the fact that if we do knock them off, we're tied for a division title, winning the MVAC. That's not been a conversation we've been a part of for quite a while. And then, of course, the playoff implications. I think we're in either way, but you don't want to limp in, and if you win, you're probably getting a home playoff game, and that's a big difference. So you put all that stuff together, and I told this crowd earlier, I can't remember a bigger game than this one. We tell the boys, here's the thing, it's a long season. You put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and these guys have done that. We couldn't be prouder of what they've done, and we're going to go out there and make this community proud tomorrow. And it's going to be a huge celebration. So be there, be a part of it, be loud, be proud. Go Rams.
Here with Coach HAKE after the Devil's Pyre, so to speak. Coach, big night. This is wild, and it's a great tradition to watch. I've seen it many times, but your thoughts on this one?
I just, it's great to see the community come out and support the team the way that they do, and overwhelmed with the support. You saw the people here today, and they're as gunned up as our kids are. They want to win, and it's an awesome opportunity. Kids are, we have 1 loss in the league. They have 0 losses, so it's a championship game, and we got to come out and play ball, man. That's what it's about.
So getting into looking back to the season all the way up to this game, there were some huge ups and a couple downs.
Sure.
Your thoughts on both of those?
Well, I think when you lose, you learn. A lose is not a loss if you're learning. And these are young people, and when we were defeated, we had to learn from it. We had to learn to play harder. We had to learn to play 4 quarters, not to turn the ball over, and we learned a little bit about ourselves and learned what we had to do to play better ball. So I think that, tasting that makes you better if you could use it the right way. Hey, let's face it. McDonald's a favorite in this game. They're 9-0. They're haven't lost yet this year. We lost twice. We had to upset them. So I'm going in there with the attitude swinging. And I know they're good, but we're good too. And we have a lot of tough kids. So, we're going to go in there and swing your sword.
I love it. Last week was a great comeback after that hard Springfield loss. I just like you, I've come from the school of, Coach Angle and Coach Tressel of you can learn a lot more from a loss sometimes than from a win.
You learn nothing when you win.
Right. So, that one was a hard one to take. I know I've been there. I saw you guys bleeding after that game emotionally, mentally, physically. How far do you think your team has come from that night till right now?
I just think from the beginning of the season until now, we're transforming into a program where we're run first. Blocking and tackling is really important to these kids. And I think it's a transformation of mentality. It's not, football's a funny thing. If you block and tackle well, you could be in most games. And if you don't, do a lot of arm tackling, and we were doing that 2 weeks ago, then you learn. So hopefully we learned, and I know our kids are up for this. They want to do it. They want to make each other proud and play for each other, and that's the most important thing. I don't need them playing for me. I need them to play for each other. I love the kids whether they win or lose. Damn it, I want them to win. So you know what? I want them to play for each other because you play harder when you play for each other. And I think they know that. And what a great group of kids. I wish the season would never end. I really do, because it's a special time in Mineral Ridge. It's not just now. I think we're at the beginning of a movement. And for the doubters, they're going to find out.
Against Springfield, you saw it. They shut the run down.
Yeah.
How are you going to deal with any teams from here on out? You got 2 guys back there. One can throw better than the other. One's an amazing electric runner. If they shut that run down again, what are your plans on how you're going to fight them?
Hopefully
Your message to this group of Rams that you had the pleasure of coaching with, the coaches that you had the pleasure of coaching with, your message when they look back at this years down the road?
You know what? Football, sports is a correlation to life. And I hope that they learn that when things were tough, how to bounce back, how to fight. Not everything goes your way in life. Not everything goes your way in games. You have to learn how to fight back and how to compete and how to bounce back to adversity, how to act like a man when things don't go well. And this group did all those things. Very proud of them, and I think they got the message.
Love it. Good luck tomorrow night, Coach.
God bless you.
Go Rams.
Go Rams.